Hey, how's it going, everybody? This is Ryan here from Plus on Block. I hope you guys are all having an amazing day, and I hope that all of you got your beta code for Granblue Fantasy Versus, because I know I did, I know your boy did, and I'm absolutely excited. And if you guys didn't get one, no worries. I know that there are a ton of people that will be giving away some beta codes, so keep your eyes peeled for that. Who knows, maybe I might get an extra one as well that I can give away to y'all. But in this video, I will be talking about what character I think that you guys should main, or what character you guys should look into for when the beta comes out, because obviously we have a limited time that we can play these characters. So for me personally, I'll be focusing in on one character and playing as many matches as possible with that one to learn the matchup. I do want to say this though, that of course you guys should play everybody at least once to kind of figure out who you like, but in this video I'll talk about what characters I think have the potential to match up with other characters in other games, based off the things that we've seen in terms of their kit, in terms of what they can do offensively, defensively, and things of that nature. So with that being said, let's get started. So first up on the list, we have to talk about Gran, or Gran. I don't know how people want to pronounce it. I'm gonna call him Gran because it's Granblue Fantasy, you feel me? Now, Gran, they say that he's balanced. That's how the game developers rank him in terms of characteristics. I would say he's an honest character. And by honest, for those of you that don't really know too much about fighting games, honest would be a character that doesn't really have gimmicks, a character that doesn't really have cheap things in quotation marks. I use that in quotation marks because things aren't necessarily cheap. They're just things that people haven't really figured out at the time, or things that not a lot of characters have access to. I feel like Gran is an honest character, which a lot of games' main characters are. In terms of what he can do offensively, he's obviously a close-up character. He wants to get up in your face, he wants to press a lot of buttons, and he wants to score a knockdown. Now, his unique ability is a power-up. Now, I don't know if he's going to be an install-based character. I don't know if he's going to be a character that really wants to score those charge-ups so he can deal a lot of damage. So that's going to be interesting to find out, because if that's the case, then he's definitely going to be a momentum-based character. A character that, since you're already close range, you do want to score those knockdowns, so that way you can power up, you can get stronger, and then continue the pressure that way. So it's like every single successful mix-up that you get, every single successful combo that you get, you essentially become more powerful and you become more of a threat. So that's where I think Gran stands as a character. Of course, we haven't seen too much about him. We haven't seen too much from him in terms of gameplay, because we haven't seen any of the pro players pick him up in terms of Daigo and Fudo when they played their matches. We can kind of only go off the trailer and the moveset that they've given us on the website. So that's what I've come up with Gran. In terms of similar characters that he might be similar to, I obviously have to go with Ryu from Street Fighter and Goku from Dragon Ball FighterZ. Now, Goku, I wouldn't say Goku's really good. Obviously, main characters are always good. He's in the show and in the game. I wouldn't say that he's extremely honest, but he's almost as honest as you can get in Dragon Ball FighterZ, and those of you that play that game will know what I mean. I mean, he does have the instant overhead, which he has to spend meter on, but that's pretty much it. Outside of that, he's a pretty honest character. And then of course there's Ryu, who pretty much the game is, no, I don't want to say balanced around now, but kind of where the mold is generated, right? A kind of do-it-all character, a jack of all trades in a sense. So that's where I rank Gran. Up next, we have to talk about Catalina. Now, Catalina is a fencer-based character, so there are going to be a lot of similarities between her and some other characters in other series, which I'll get into a little bit later. But with mid-range normals, she is going to be footsie-based. Now, for those of you that don't know what that is, and obviously I don't want to get too technical, but she's going to be a character where you're going to really have to watch your ranges against her, because for most characters in the game, you know, outside of a couple such as Fairy, which we'll get to later, she's going to be able to outrange, meaning that when you try to press a button and she tries to press a button, there's certain ranges where she's going to hit you and you won't be able to, because she has that reach with her sword, right? She's going to have good pokes, which basically means that she'll be able to steal some damage away, but she also has access to other things, right? We don't know if it's a shield or parry or reflect, whatever it is. I'm thinking it's more of a reflect in a sense, like a parry. Whatever it is though, it allows her to play in a way that the opponent has to respect her, right? She demands respect. Having access to those mid-range normals, those pokes, having access access to, we don't know if it's a reflect or parry, having access to a DP. She also has a Dragon Punch. And for those of you that don't know what a DP is, a Dragon Punch is an invincible move, which basically means that if your opponent presses a button and you DP, you use that invincible move, doesn't matter what they're doing, your move will beat theirs. It's typically a high risk, high reward maneuver. So if it does get blocked, if it does miss, if it does whiff, it can be punished. But once again, that's another tool that Catalina has in her toolbox that makes her very devastating, right? You have an invincible DP, you have a shield slash parry slash reflect, but then you also have that footsie based gameplay, those pokes. You put all those things together. Oh, and not to mention, she also has a projectile. She's all about controlling that space. She's all about demanding that respect. In terms of comparisons, I have to go with Ori from Eunice, Mitsuru from Persona, and Charlotte from Samurai Showdown. Alright, up next we are talking about Charlotta. Now I know a ton of people are already planning on maining Charlotta from what I've seen on community boards, Reddit, also YouTubers as well that have done reaction videos to her trailer. People are saying that Charlotta is going to be the main, and you know, I don't blame them. She's a small character, she has a small hitbox, which is actually pretty good. For those of you that don't know, having a smaller character means that you have a smaller hitbox, which means that there might be certain situations that you might not get hit otherwise, since you are smaller, not a bigger character. The one thing about this character is that she's very oppressive. She wants to get up in the opponent's face, she wants to press buttons, she wants to be right there constantly pressuring them, and she also has access to a demon flip type of move. For those of you that know about demon flip from Street Fighter, one of her moves gives her access to an amazing high-low mix-up. However, it does look like it can be anti-aired pretty easily, but once you do go into that airborne state, your opponent then has to guess if you are going high or low, and I believe she can also side switch off of it. So in terms of comparisons, right off the bat, you already know I gotta talk about Akuma and Cammy in terms of side switching, in terms of high-low mix-ups. Obviously with the demon flip from Akuma and the Allons-y with Cammy, you know, you don't know if they're going to the left, you don't know if they're going to the right, you don't know if they're going high, you don't know if they're going low. I have to compare them to Charlotta, but then also I want to compare her to Wagner and Eunice. Now, don't get me wrong, I don't think that she's going to be as oppressive as that. Obviously, I did say that she does have that oppressive nature, but I mean, let's be real here. Wagner is just she's in a league of her own in terms of pressure, but obviously Wagner with her force function, having the ability of the shield install, being able to parry hits. Charlotta kind of falls in that mode as well. Obviously being a character that uses a sword and shield, that's kind of a similarity as well. So that's why I use them, those three characters rather, as similarities or similar builds to Charlotta. Alright, up next we're going to talk about the character that I'm planning on maining, Lancelot. And I'll get into that in another video, talk about why I'm going to main Lancelot. But let's talk about Lancelot. Now guys, he is obviously a rushdown character. He is a character that is mix-up heavy. He's a character that has access to left-right mix-ups, and if you guys know me, those are the characters that I love. I love characters where your opponent has to guess. I love being in my opponent's head. I love the mind games, and that's what Lancelot has access to, right? He has moves that allow him to vanish temporarily on the screen and force them to guess which side to block. Obviously with the blocking mechanic in this game, it will be a little bit easier, but those type of shenanigans are always fun. He also has access to a wall bounce, I believe, but more importantly, he also has access to command dashes and feints. So obviously every character can dash in this game. Obviously every character in this game has evasive maneuvers, but Lancelot has a command dash. It will allow him to do things and set up different types of mix-ups that other characters simply can't do because they don't have a command dash. I believe so far he's the only character that has access to it, and he can also do a feint, and a feint is basically a fake. He can fake dash. So that's something that's already a mind game in itself. Now, of course, that can be punished, but guys, Lancelot is going to be that character that is all about the oppression session. He's going to be that character that is all about 50-50s and all about making the opponent guess. For similarities, I gotta go with Rashida Nabuki from Street Fighter V, purely based off the aggression, the rushdown style, and the 50-50 guessing aspect of things. And also Yamcha from Dragon Ball FighterZ, a character that's also rushdown, a character that wants to be in your face, and of course with Wolfang Fist going left or right, you gotta keep guessing. Last but not least, we will be talking about Fairy. Now, For me, I think that Fairy is going to be the character that a ton of people complain about in the closed beta, and it's because she has access to many tools and access to things that will actually be quite annoying for new players to fighting games. Now, I don't think she's OP or anything like that, but I will say that she'll probably be the character that people will deem OP when the time comes after closed beta. Now, in terms of Fairy and in terms of what she has access to, she has the longest reach out of all 5 characters in the closed beta, so right off the bat that's extremely strong. She has a full screen command grab as well that will put them on the ground right in front of her, which will then allow her to go for another setup right after, because you're literally right in front of her face. And on top of that, she has access to set play. Now, if you don't know what set play is, it's basically setting up a trap. It's basically setting up an ability or a skill that will force your opponent to deal with it once they wake up. Once they get off the ground, it forces them to block, it forces them to play a certain way, it forces them to play your game. And so far it looks like Fairy is the only one that has access to set play. Now, please keep in mind, with all of these things being said, I do believe that Fairy is going to probably be the most difficult character to play, if so, because this game is pretty simple, but I would definitely say she's probably the most technical character out of the 5, and she will take a lot of skill, so you don't have to worry about someone being able to just pick her up and absolutely dominate. I feel like she will have a lot of moves that are going to be unsafe, a lot of moves that can be punishable, but with that being said, in the right hands, in the capable hands, Fairy can be an absolute beast. So in terms of comparisons, I gotta go with Phonon, and I also have to go with Byakuya and also Android 18 from Dragon Ball FighterZ. Phonon and Byakuya being from Unist. Phonon and Byakuya because of the range with the whip, and Byakuya having his spider webs for his set play, and also Android 18 because she also has set play with her Android 17 assist that she has built into her kit. Alright guys, there you have it. Those are my character comparisons. Those are the things that these characters are capable of, and I hope that after watching this video it gives you guys a better idea of who you guys want to play really going into the closed beta this weekend. Like I said, for me, I will be playing Lancelot 100%. I will be getting a ton of footage, I'll be playing a ton of matches, trying to learn the matchup, trying to see what the character is capable of, and I'll be sharing all of that here on Plus on Block. Also guys, I do want to mention that I am planning on doing a giveaway, guys. I will be giving away a copy of Granblue Fantasy Versus for the PS4 once it's officially released. So make sure that you guys stay tuned for that. Make sure that you guys are subscribed, because that is going to be very cool and very fun. So with that being said guys, if you guys enjoyed the video, make sure to support your boy. Know that this is Plus on Block. So don't press any buttons, because you might get counter hit unless you're pressing that like button and that subscribe button. I'm out guys. Take it easy.